The Tecno Spark 8 or the Infinix Hot 11. Both phones have a starting price of around 80,000 naira and they share some similarities. In this video, we are going to compare them side by side to find out the best one for you. Both phones have 4 gigs RAM and 64 or 128 gigs of storage, unless for the Spark 8P that has a model with 256 gigs of RAM. The variant I have here both have 128 gigs of storage. They both have an 8 megapixel selfie camera up front. At the back, the Tecno Spark 8P has a 50 megapixel main camera. Same thing applies for the Hot 11. The Hot 11 is powered by the MediaTek Helio G37, while we have the Helio G35 on the Spark 8P. We have a 5000 mAh battery on the Spark 8P, while the Hot 11 has a 5200 mAh battery. Both phones run on Android 11 and their custom operating system. But how does all these specs translate in real life usage? Just wait and see. Design wise, the Spark 8P looks better grip because of its textured back, and it also hides fingerprint stains. The upper part is shiny and we have 3 cameras and a triple flashlight sitting beautifully. The Hot 11 looks textured but is slippery in the hand, best if you use the TPU case included in the box. We have a side mounted fingerprint scanner on the Spark 8P, while the Hot 11 has a fingerprint scanner at the back. They are both responsive and fast. They both charge through a micro USB. Hopefully all the Tecno and Infinix devices that will be released this year will have a Type-C port. They both have a downfiring speaker that is decent. The phones are made of plastic, so they should be able to resist falling from certain heights. Now let's talk about the display. Both phones have an IPS LCD display that peaks at 400 nits outdoors. The Spark 8P has a 1080p Full HD display, while the Hot 11 has a 720p panel with a 90Hz refresh rate. The high refresh rate makes scrolling better and smoother, and I'll certainly pick it over the 1080p display on the Spark 8P. Let me know what you prefer in the comments below, a higher refresh rate or a higher resolution. The chin and bezel on both phones are noticeable, but I don't think you should worry about that. It is only the flagship that come with thin bezels. The display is 6.6 inch on both phones, and to some extent you might find it comfortable to use with one hand. They both have a water drop style display that houses the selfie camera. In this aspect, nothing really separates both phones. Software wise, both phones are running on Android 11 and the Tecno Spark 8P is using the new updated iOS 7.6, while we have the XOS 10 on the Hot 11. They look similar and they both now have swipe gestures as a new feature. The notification shade on both phones has a revamp. The icons are kind of still the same, but I have to appreciate what Tecno and Infinix have done so far with the software. And oh, the bloatwares are still annoying on both phones. Some apps even push notification to the phone. You can remove some of the unwanted apps if you want to. Performance is okay. You can't really separate both phones. They handle games like Call of Duty and Need for Speed in a good way. There are lags here and there, but these are not super high-end phones, so it is expected. Multitasking is okay to some extent and everything feels okay. Both phones can last for 2 days depending on your usage. I mostly end my day with around 30 to 25% battery life on both phones because I'm a heavy user. Charging takes almost 2.5 hours from 0 to 100 on both phones, but you should be fine charging it at night while you sleep. Camera wise, the main camera on both phones is 50 megapixel. We also have additional 2 megapixel depth sensor and a VGA camera at the back. Up front, we have an 8 megapixel camera and they deliver in good lighting condition. Here are some pictures to give you an idea, but they were not shot side by side. In conclusion, there is nothing really much that separates both phones. Decision might come down to personal preference. If you want a higher refresh rate, then the Hot 11 is your best bet. But if you want a better design, then the Spark 8P is one of the best designed phones available right now. If this video was helpful in any way, make sure you hit the like and I'll see you in the next one.